Number 1 seed going into the 2012 chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. He's got 4 wins on the season. That's the most of anybody in the series. He drives the number 11 FedEx Express Toyota. And Denny, talk about now as we shift our attention to Chicago, this first race in the chase. You are the top seed. Your thoughts?
Yeah, we're obviously excited to get to this point. You know, after you get a couple early wins in the season, you kind of are in automatic, kind of just going through the motions in the sense until the chase. You know, you're pretty much going for race wins, trying different things. You know, now it's all about the research you've done. You know, how good your car is running, what team you put together, and now it's time to put your game face on and see what you got. So we're excited about going to Chicago and obviously hopefully getting a good kickoff to the chase.
For Denny, if you have one, raise your hand. We'll bring you the wireless. Questions for Denny? Let's go here with Kim and then Stan, then Nate, then Jenna. Oh, okay.
Denny, Kim Robertson, InsiderRacingNews.com. You were so close 2 years ago. Do you think that the lessons that you learned back in 2010 are going to benefit you this year? And what do you think your chances are, especially starting out at the top rung of this and holding off everybody that's behind you?
Yeah, I mean, what took us out of the championship in 2010 really were a lot of different circumstances. I won't treat it any differently. About the way I drive, things like that, I think I'll be a little bit more aggressive on restarts and not give up those 1 or 2 points when they really count. That'll change, but for the most part, I think I'll just be a lot more relaxed this time around. Obviously, our stuff is really good right now, and it's as good as it was in 2010. So we're you know, what do you got to lose? You know, we've never won a championship. You know, we're going out there trying to win our first, and you know, I'm going to race week to week and not think about a championship until I get to Homestead.
Let's go Stan, then Nate. Go ahead.
Dan Creekmore with RPMtonight.com. Denny, how much do you think that Busch will be as an assistance to you in racing for this chase? And also, one of the people you're racing against is going to be your teammate next year.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know that that'll change a whole lot. I think that Matt's pretty much committed to, you know, that team and everything for the remainder of the season. But really, it sucks to not have Kyle in the chase. You know, it's important for JGR to have cars in the chase. You know, that's Joe and JD's livelihood. You know, they don't have anything real businesses outside of that, so you know, they need cars in the chase to make a living, and so it's tough. That part of it's tough, but you know, it's up to us to go out there and try to perform and get them a championship with one of their cars.
Take a question from Nate, and then we'll hear from Dale. Go ahead.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Denny, following up on that, does it mean anything for you not having another teammate in the chase? I mean, is it going to impact strategy, or are you worried about how it might affect things at JGR or Toyota in general, not having more cars going for the championship?
Yeah, that was another thing is Toyota loses a car in the chase, but you know, I think that the only thing really it can do is kind of put you higher in the pecking order of, you know, when the fab shop builds an awesome car or something like that, it you know, will go to you. But other than that, I don't think it'll change a whole lot. You know, maybe those guys start working in a different direction for next year, and they hit on something, and we can use it towards the end of the chase. But other than that, it's not going to change too much.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has also joined us, and Dale comes in as the number 7 seed. And Dale, talk about now Chase Field's being set, and your thoughts about contending for the championship.
Yeah, I feel like we got a good shot at it. We've been consistent all year long, and we just hope we can keep that up. I think it's going to take a couple wins to win a championship outright, but you know, we've been consistent and running well everywhere, and just, you know, look forward to getting the thing started off on the right foot.
Okay, let's come back to questions. I think Hank had one over here, and then Holly. Go ahead, right here. Raise your hand, Hank.
Denny, are you starting to feel a little bit like the Detroit Pistons kind of when you go into these things? Everybody always thinks you have a real good shot, and it's kind of like a learn to.
I thought the Pistons suck, but
Yeah, but they eventually won.
Oh.
No, he's not. He's a sports fan.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right, go ahead.
Bill Laimbeer, Isaiah Thomas, maybe before your time. Sorry, but
Yes, I have.
they were in the playoffs for a bunch of years and eventually learned how to win it. Is that kind of where you are, or is that overcomplicating it?
Yeah, I mean, I wish it just could be experience beats all, and that's how you win a championship. But nowadays, it's about having an awesome pit crew. It's a guy on the box that makes great calls and fast cars. Other than that, the driver's got to stay focused and obviously give good feedback. But there's lessons learned along the way. This is our 7th straight year, and there's bits and pieces I've learned to each and every chase that you apply to every year that's after that. And so I'll learn the lessons from previous years and apply them. But it's gonna, like he said, it's gonna take wins, and that's gonna be the most important thing. To have wins, you gotta have fast cars, and so it's gonna be important to make sure we keep on top of that.
Holly.
NASCAR.com. This could be for either of you. Tony Stewart has kind of poo-pooed his chances going into the chase last year, and then we all know what he did. This year, he hasn't been very happy about it. But then tonight, he did what he needed to do, and he ends up as the 3rd seed. I mean, it's really a significant difference from just easing on in. Just if you could speak about, how strong you see him being.
Don't speak up all at once.
I mean, who knows? As crazy as last year was, I obviously never would have considered Tony much of a threat, but he was, and they went on a run. So, I think it just shows you can't really write anyone off in the chase. I just think that all these teams are really, really good. And can be good at any point of the season. And so who knows who's saved what for Chicago. They haven't, maybe they have a awesome car and they just are going to ride that horse all the way into on all the 1.5 mile tracks, and they've just been saving it. So who knows what's going to happen. I think that I'm going to treat them all equally, and I think that Tony's obviously kind of got that bulldog effect where he's probably the most intimidating of anyone when you kind of see him racing around you. So
Let's go to the press box.
Monty Dutton, Gaston Gazette, this is for either of you or both. Both of you have known that you were going to be in the chase, and there are some strategic things that you've been in a position to prepare for with the selection of all cars and getting ready for the tracks. Right now, is there any big grand meeting where you need to sit there and talk about how you're going to do this? Or is this just a seat of the pants thing at this point? And secondly, if you start out and you have a bad race in the first one, do you stick to the course, or do you have to change by the seat of your pants as things develop?
I'm not going to answer all.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we've been running good all year. We've been just going week to week. You go to each racetrack and work on your car in practice and run the race. Try to use your head and finish as best you can. I think you can't think too far ahead of yourself. You just kind of do what your job is that day and try to accomplish the goals you set forth in that afternoon, and that's all you can do. If you have a bad run, you keep trying. You just keep plugging away. I don't think you really alter the course per se. You got to go show up every week and run against everybody and try to have the best finish you can have. Try to win the race. Everybody runs as hard as they can run all the time, no matter what the circumstances. So you can't really, ask more out of yourself or ask more out of your equipment. You do that already. You run as hard as you can anyway. So you just got to be smart and try not to make any mistakes or get yourself in any holes early on.
Upstairs, any more questions? Okay, let's come back downstairs. Marty Smith, you had a question? Get the mic back here, and then we'll go to Jenna, Nate, Hank. Maybe close it out with Stan. Go ahead.
Marty Smith, ESPN. This is for Denny. You were noting how it's really not fun. I don't even know why I'm laughing. I have no idea. I don't. I'm just maybe punchy. You noted how you've learned in each chase, and I wondered, what's the most difficult variable that you've faced, and the biggest lesson that you've learned throughout that time?
The biggest lesson I would just say is I can only worry about what I can control. I mean, I'm pretty sure years ago when I would have been on the radio just about every lap wondering tonight, what in the hell are we doing? What's going on with the strategy? But I just do what I'm told and run when he says run and haul ass when he says haul ass. So it's just I think I handle things a lot better. The adversity that we have faced, New Hampshire, when we had a major miscommunication and went to the back, normally I think I would have been chewing the wheel off, but I think I handled it better, and we actually made a decent run at getting that win. And so I think it's just the adversity that I think I've gotten better at overcoming.
Let's go to Hank, and we'll go to Jenna, Nate, probably in with Stan. Go ahead, Hank.
Dale, can you talk about Jeff and the comeback he made tonight? And, it seemed like when you guys had the red flag, he seemed dead in the water, and he got out of the car, and he was all mad. And then it seemed like he made a remarkable comeback. And how much does momentum carry over from something like that?
Yeah, I think they know they've been strong all year. They just had some poor luck. And I knew that, given enough opportunities, they would eventually get the car working the way he wanted it. And they did. And, they've been a strong team all year. They were really fast right out of the gate first couple of weeks and just had a lot of bad luck, got themselves in a hole. And I think they got like Denny said, I think every team in the chase has a opportunity to win it, including Jeff and those guys.
Jenna.
Jennifer, AP, I'm hoping both of you will comment. Michael got 2 cars into the chase, and both of you have very different relationships with Michael. And he's really come a long way from a team that almost folded. And Denny, you've probably seen more of the struggles he's gone through a little closer. But just the job he's done, and I presume you're both pretty happy to see him finally being successful on the ownership side.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, Michael really put everything he had into it, made the full commitment right out of the box, and they did struggle. And now he's able to, he's able to enjoy all the efforts and the sacrifices he made. And it's been a challenge, I know. And when I see him up there with his, his 2 drivers, Truex and Clint, I know he's as proud as he can be, and I think he deserves it more than anybody to have put as much as he has into the sport, even as a driver. He put everything he had into it for all those years, and he's finally really able to enjoy it. It's great to see, and I'm proud for him. We got a race against him, but it's great to see him do well and see his company do so well, because he generally has a knack for it. And I think I think it'll be something. I think he'll be around for quite a while, winning races and developing that program even further.
Denny, any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely spent a lot of time with Michael, and it's I know how in tune he is with his race team. every week when we talk, and it's he's asking a lot of questions and wants to know what he can do to be better, and he's turned that team from team that can barely make top 35 to a legit championship contending team, and so that's no easy task. And I think he deserves a lot of credit, but Rob Kaufman also deserves a ton of credit for showing commitment to the race team, and they hired the right people, they hired the right drivers, and that's how you become successful. So I think that like he said, he's going to be around for a long time, and it's just you look at the progression of the race team. It's they're legit now. I mean, they're guys that you're going to have to beat week in, week out. Now, obviously, we've seen that, but proud for him. I know it's a big deal for him to have those cars in the chase.
Go ahead, Nate. Nate Ryan, USA Today for Dale. Kind of what I asked Denny earlier, but the flip side of it, Joe Gibbs Racing loses a car in a chase, but you guys gain a car and get all four of yours in. Beyond just, I know that's a morale booster, but beyond just that, can that have any impact, do you think, to have all of your teammates kind of on the same page, going for the same goal, and nobody's left out, and can that help Hendrick out at all?
Well, yeah, I guess so. I mean, I know how strong that team is. Part of me knows that a really formidable opponent's, got an opportunity to beat us out, and just really clever and savvy with how he races, and aside from just outright speed, you gotta outsmart him a lot of times to beat him. So, which is tough. And he's won a lot of championships and knows how to get it done. Knows what it takes with mindset and how to prepare himself mentally. And so I think it just makes the group of guys all that much tougher. It's hard not to talk about the morale and how it helps the company and how the company's proud. Everybody works so hard in the off season to find some speed and help us out. We're a much better company this year, and we're able to, reap the benefits of that with all four of us being in the chase. So it'll be fun.
Final question, Stan.
Creekmore with RPM tonight. Dale, you've talked several times this year about how you've changed some and spend more time with the race team and everything. Could you expand on that a little bit? Have you changed more than the team has changed? And how much does it mean that the fact that you have changed more to the fact that you're in this chase, running for that championship?
Well, one thing I'll add to Nate's question was I think the debriefs will get a lot shorter on Saturday night. But
That's good.
yeah, a lot less. Everybody won't be such an open book, I don't imagine. But I just think that Steve deserves a lot of credit for our performance. Steve puts a lot into the program, and he's helped me as a driver. He's helped me become a better driver. He's shown me how I can be more of an asset to the team inside the car and outside the car. And so I think he's improved me in a lot of areas. So, that feels good. We work real hard to improve certain areas of the deal, and he tells me what he thinks I need to be doing, how I can help, and I do those things, and we see the results, and it's pretty neat. I've never really had anybody ask much of me other than just bring the helmet and get in, and then how's it drive. But he's a lot more detailed and wants a lot more information, and it's just totally different atmosphere, totally different culture that I'm used to being around, and so he deserves most of the credit for the performance of the team, me as a driver over the last couple of years, how we've ran.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you, Denny. Congratulations. Good luck in the chase. Thank you. See you, buddy. Good luck. See you, Chicago.